Okay, so if we just start a bit with LATAM and where you're active with, and if we start with Brazil, which is where you're currently got the biggest presence, and how that market can be potentially, can its regulatory model shape LATAM as LATAM continues to grow?
It's probably still a little bit too early to say. I think the early signs are that it's going to make it even more competitive than maybe people anticipated. We've already seen some operators come out of the market, so from our perspective, we're keeping a very close eye on it. LATAM is a market that we've dipped our toe in over previous years. We've never really had a huge focus, and that's been a conscious decision from the business because we feel like we need truly local expertise, both from a commercial, technical product, but also marketing standpoint to really help us grow within Latin America as a whole. That's what we're looking to do now. We've got open positions within that market, and the first most critical hire is going to be a senior commercial person who can,
Okay.
deliver, first and foremost, and has a good reputation within the market, but secondly, can help us build the strategy for Latin America more broadly. And such a huge continent, right? So
But it's quite a complex market, right? Do you think this
absolutely,
puts operators off from, are people holding back
yeah,
and waiting for other people to test the ground, test the waters, so
I
to
think so.
speak?
I think so. That's what we've seen. It's similar to the US. I think where the US exploded after PASPA, and you saw a huge amount of operators from this side of the pond rush into the market. And now if you take a look at the US market, it's consolidated massively, and you've had some huge operators within Europe within their own rights who have pulled out. And I think you may see a similar trend within Latin America, but certainly within Brazil, it's probably a little bit too early to say. We're only 5 months into a regulated
Yeah.
Brazil, so we're really intrigued to see how that plays out.
And what are your ambitions in Peru, Mexico?
I think the ambitions will be dictated by this first hire. We're, as a business, generally very ambitious, as you've seen the year-on-year growth today, and we're not slowing down. And we've identified LATAM as a key region for us or continent even, to really continue to build on that growth. And therefore, from our perspective, we don't want to take a really wide view and approach. We want to be quite narrow and specific about the countries that we do target. Peru and Mexico will likely be a couple that we do look to go into, but we'll have to wait and
Can you
see.
expand maybe on what attracts you specifically? What attributes stand out from those particular countries?
I think if you look at the history of EveryMatrix, we have always been led by the opportunity that arises within a territory. Okay, so for example, New Zealand was never a market that we proactively looked to venture into, but with Sky City and the relationships that we'd built and established over the last couple of years, it was almost such an easy decision to venture in there because of the opportunity itself. So I think it'll be a combination of being led by the market itself, but also like you say, the complexities around regulation, the technical requirements, and the opportunities that are currently within that market. So we'll be very granular in our analysis and making sure that we're being as efficient as we can, because it's going to be really important that we catch up with the market.
Can you expand a bit more on the Sky City deal?
So yeah, the Sky City deal has been in the works for some time. We're extremely excited about it. Obviously, an operator with a huge reputation in New Zealand, and it's a testament to our commercial team and also just the business as a whole to be able to land an agreement like that, and we're extremely excited about it.
So again, New Zealand untested waters as well, 2026.
Exactly.
What sort of challenges are you anticipating with that?
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a bit hypothetical, I know,
Yeah,
but yeah.
absolutely. But no doubt, venturing into a new market, you always uncover certain challenges. We've done that historically, very well, where we've overcome that with the Hungarian State Lottery, with Croatia, with ArenaBet. We've done our due diligence, and we'll continue to work very closely with Sky City to mitigate those as best as we possibly can. But if we are to continue to grow in the same trajectory, then we have to learn to adapt, and we've done that so far. So I see no reason why that won't continue in the same way.
Great. And in your presentation earlier, you were talking about scaling your tier one relationships and how you can sort of improve on that customer life cycle.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about how you plan to do that?
Absolutely. I think, it's really important as a supplier that you don't stand still and rest on your laurels. And I think we're always looking to push innovation from a product standpoint. We've proven that with the acquisitions we made last year, with delivering our own proprietary horse racing product, with delivering our bet simulation product in partnership with the Phantasma team. So I think innovation is a key part of that, but also reliability and making sure that you're listening to the operator, presenting them with opportunities in potentially markets that we're very strong in as a supplier, but maybe they're not currently present in, and just constantly being on the front foot and making sure that the relationship is going from strength to strength.
Okay, so if we go more onto the horse racing side of things now,
Yeah.
why did you choose to move into this space? I mean, in terms of all the sports out there, there's a lot of sports, but it's not one that jumps to mind as being hugely the most popular. Football has such attraction in terms of fandom, and
Yeah.
so what
Yeah,
led you into that?
absolutely. I think we've got huge aspirations within the UK and Ireland, Irish market, and within South Africa as well. And that has stemmed from the acquisition of FFSB, of course. A business that had a strong foothold in both of those markets. And if you have any true aspirations, you have to have a strong horse racing product. We're in a unique position. Not many of the other suppliers within those markets can say that they have their own proprietary horse racing products. We've not rushed this. This has been in the works for a while, and we're extremely proud to say that we launched our first operator this week in Bet 600 with our first proprietary horse racing products. And yeah, we're very excited to see more operators take it on over the next few years.
What sort of metrics, KPIs will you use to assess the sort of success of this acquisition?
I think a combination of factors. Ultimately, the bottom line is it making us money, and what the margins are that are being delivered alongside the market, and really how can we take it to the next level from a product standpoint. Obviously, horse racing is a very traditional sport within the UK, and how can we bring something new to it? So we'll constantly be monitoring like player engagement, the split of revenue across the sportsbook, and how much of that is going to horse racing, and seeing how much of a success it's going to be.
Yeah, on that note, it is very traditional. So how are you going to sort of find that balance between the more seasoned punters and newer audience members that perhaps coming into the space
Yeah.
aren't aware or familiar with the product?
We're incredibly fortunate to have a fantastic bonus engine. So our bonus engine, that's a layer that sits across our platform, is incredibly versatile, and it gives the operators the ability to cross-sell with their punters. And therefore, when we do have a new product that goes to market, we've got the ability to target the customer at the right time. So around Cheltenham Festival and Ascot and the Grand National, well, there's no doubt they're the key moments for the products, obviously, is like horse racing. And so with our bonus engine, operators can capitalize on that and make sure that they are making customers aware of what this great product can do.
Great. And in terms of player experience, compared to what's out there at the moment in the market, how does this compare?
I think it's very unique in that the product that we're taking to market is proprietary. The models, the pricing will be a lot sharper than what is out there, which when it comes to horse racing, pricing is pretty much number one priority because of the heritage behind it. But also making sure that you have in play or in race pricing, which is again a pretty much unique experience for suppliers in the industry. That we're one of very few that have that available. So yeah, giving customers an all-round experience is going to be very important.
Great. Anything I didn't ask you that you would like to talk about?
Um, no, I feel like we've
Covered
covered the new
everything.
markets, we've covered LATAM, we've covered the new structure, covered horse racing. I feel like we're good. Unless
Perfect.
there's anything else that
Yeah, I
you want to
think
cover.
that's